Heather type is starting compared to what he was able to do yesterday, right? So that's amazing. But again, it's so different in groups compared to what we're going to see in the finals, because when teams are secure, they start focusing on other things. They start focusing on third-party on teams they potentially don't want in the finals. So that's really what I'm looking for in the next couple of games here.
How's the atmosphere as a whole for EWC been so far? Have you got to look around all the other things that are going on around the halls? Did you get any merch?
Yeah, I got some merch. I had it on yesterday. It looked great. And honestly, the whole Expo, the whole arena, everything, it's just such a great atmosphere. You see so many colleagues you've been working with or around for so many years, right? And everything is just, it feels amazing to be here. So also super cool for it to be in Paris this year. So yeah, love that.
I was going to ask who you think is going to be taking it all. However, it's difficult to go beyond myth, I think. What's your perspective?
Yeah, honestly, the way they've been playing, if everything kind of rolls their way, and also the amount of games we are playing, how dominant they've been this year, it's hard to deny. They're absolute top favorites right now. But there could be, you know, things going against them in the final. Then if confidence breaks, then it's going to be rough.
All right, well, thank you very much, Avenger. Here it is time to head on over to the casters, the other casters. He's done for today. Let's head on over.
The two of them together doing an interview talking about who they think's going to win. Myth doing great. I thought for certain Navi was going to slip into the conversation there.
They can't let the EMEA bias go. Yeah.
I mean, I was expecting the Colaris EMEA dance to happen, right? So whenever we're looking at this, remember, guys, I know we're talking a lot. Top 16 go on. The big things to note is there are two teams that is going to be Shadow as well as Supers that are not playing today that are still in our top 16, and that is going to be 14th and 15th respectively. Then on the chase back behind it, it is going to be Geeky, Genji, JDG, and then like Toffees was talking about, drops down into Sharper, Nemesis, and then maybe if there is a big game here, we could put 4 Angry Men in it. So we've got 2 spots dropping out and a lot on the chase back behind it, and it feels like this is just going to come down to trying to avoid the giants in the lobby of squads like Myth.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be tough, and you know, some of those teams that are on the outside looking in that need some decent point games in this one to kind of going to be kind of precarious, because when you have those teams that are already solidified, they can, you know, send it into those compounds. You know, I think back to T1 sending it against, I think it was Geeky, and wipe them out at the gas station in Miramar, because they have the freedom to be like, well, we can practice this, or yeah, screw it, let's just try it. We're already in, who cares? That's like the concern when you're one of those teams, because you're trying to play your game, you're trying to play tight, you're trying to play, you know, your good macro, all these things, and then you never know when there's that wild card team that's just going to send it, you know, in a clown car behind you, and all of a sudden you're losing players when you don't normally in those situations.
December 12th, Team Liquid pretty stacked on top of each other. It looks like they might all have the ideas going for Palace. Maybe December 12th pulling away. They could just be securing a car, as JDG has a lot to fight for. Team Liquid already feeling comfy, so I don't know if I would make too much of a commitment out of this. Circle pops up this direction, so they might just try to split the location. That can happen in location. Yeah, they're all actually going to drop there. December 12th is going to get the vehicle. That's going to make this worrisome for JDG, in my opinion.
Cowboy knows all about this fight. He had to deal with this often against JDG last year. So definitely going to be something that he's kind of understanding what the JD Gaming modus operandi is in this spot, and they like to get up on this hill early, absolutely. But I mean, both teams would. This is one of the few places where you can get up in these rocks and get some vision, but it's going to be obviously identified there with the vehicle, making it super, you know, not questionable, but they might just be leaving.
I like this from JDG. They have too much to play for, presently in that 18th place position. Team Liquid maybe trying to pick some opponents that they want to not have to deal with later, as a couple of rotates could be a problem for Team Liquid based off of this. So JDG going to cut a path a bit more to the north. That's a known problem, though, because it's all the Koreans up to the north. As we've got Heather, it's going to be hanging out at the crossroads, and Salute on the other side. So you're going to have to cut a pretty far path into this to find some safety to loot. JDG, you got away, but at what cost?
It's tough in this part of the map, actually. There isn't a ton of kind of trash loot compounds littered up in this part of the map. You're gonna have to just kind of keep driving and go a distance to find anything, not to mention, like you're talking about, Genji, T1, not only are they in their default spots of Godok and Yongchun, they're also spread out in some of the trash compounds around them.
What trash is available over here, trash buildings I should say, is Genji has one set of the compounds. They've got Raining for T1 on the other one. It looks like December 12th and crew might be rolling right up to Bean, where he's in the process of looting, and I don't think he's going to be expecting anybody to roll by this. JDG, it looks like there's nowhere else to go. They're just going to hit the tree, jump out. They've got a little bit to work with, but Bean's going to have himself a ton of friends all of a sudden. But JDG, I think they saw this rotate. They're already in vehicles. They're cutting a path up here fast.
Yeah, Soul going to be right behind and trying to help out Bean. Let's see if Gen G is just going to fully commit to this fight. They need points. If they can win this one pretty cleanly in a 4-0, they're going to have a good chance.
This is two squads presently tied, fighting for the top 16 positions. This could turn everything around for either one of these squads really quickly. A couple of shots coming out, nothing cemented in just quite yet. Soul going to go for the upper section of this building. Might make him vulnerable to nades coming out. December 12th not having too much to work with. Cold's going to go down. It's going to be D that spots him out. And now Gen G knows who they're fighting.
Oh, but the shotgun just rang out and took Bean down. So all of a sudden, problems. Soul will claim Cold's point as well. So it's a 1-for-1 so far between these two teams who absolutely need these points so desperately. Grenade from Soul, not going to make it inside of the building window. Going to bounce around. And he's going to also make another move around the outside.
There's a potential storm brewing as Nemesis is rotating. If they hear a couple of shots, and Team Liquid is actually following. They saw the pathing coming out for this. Were they chasing the whole time? They're going to move into a third-party point to play around this. And oh my God, if they get the shots onto D, that could absolutely ruin Gen G's position. It's going to be Heather, though, that they spot at range because everybody's getting involved. Nemesis still moving into the north. Now T1, whoever wins this, they could instantly get dropped out by one of these third, fourth, or fifth parties.
This is absolute madness and worst case scenario for Gen G and JDG. Gonna throw some blue zones there, try to keep that door pinned down, and then they're gonna try to use that grenade on the other side. They do get a lot of damage into December the 12th. So he's gonna have to tuck in, but he's got a Saiga behind this. Meanwhile, Cowboy finds an angle with the M16, but Heather does 95 damage to him, backs him right down. So that has bought Gen G a little bit of time.
Nemesis now involved in the north. T1 realizing this has gotten pretty hot, trying to figure out how much of a commitment they want. D runs into the building. December 12th, it's gonna be on their side. Shotty pops off. Salute gets a counter knock on December 12th, though, trying to keep D up and alive as it is full damage control for everybody, trying to fight just to stay alive on the leaderboard.
Salute now gonna realize there's other teams out there. Oh, what a shot with the Panzer. That's Suze down. And Salute clinging to life. Just nons left for JDG, but all these teams.
Team Liquid, they're gonna send it in. They're gonna play spoiler to it all. They roll right in. Soul's gonna have to defend one side of it. Alo knows where the positioning is at, and this is just ruining everybody's day. Soul does get the knock and the flush on the Cowboy, though.
Okay, we've got a chance here for the side of Gen G. Soul trying to make some big plays. Purdy Curdy gonna go down as well. He did take out Salute with his grenades. Now they're trying to deal with Nons, keep him pinned down so they can isolate this fight with Soul.
There was a long distance skirmish that happened with the back duo of T1 in Twisted Minds, so that's kind of repositioned the focus for T1. That's allowed Nemesis to move into another position with Diffex to get a little bit more vulnerable, try to attack this, but Gam's also over here, one side of it. Gen G is now going to be the first squad out. Couple of points in the bag, but not too much. Diffex manages to get the drop on a Soul.
Well, I guess the good news is if you're Gen G is you might have outdone JDG if they're able to be taken down without claiming too many more points here from Nons. Still has that shotgun, and the mortars will not affect him inside of that building, but definitely make things a little bit more scary when you're having to try to deal with the lack of sound cues because of those explosions.
With all of this, now Geekay has managed to get the city just to the west. They have EJ that's up to seeing if maybe he can supervise. This just turned into a massive pop-off. Nons is just trapped in position, and now Team Liquid really is as well because Gam's not going to let him go anywhere. You can't even cut to the west anymore with Geekay's positioning. And, I mean, what do? Poor old Nons is just playing for survival, and Team Liquid, they're just roaming around. They're at 67 points and fine with all of this.
And Nons also has that S12. He's got the auto shot behind, so he's a very, very tough nut to crack. That is for sure. And Liquid knows it, and they know that there were so many other teams around them, so they have to be extra cautious. They can't just make that push out into the open without getting some confirmation that it is going to be safe. Now, looking on the map, Nemesis is still in the vicinity, but they're not really totally hyper-focused on this fight. They've got 3 players that aren't really anywhere near it.
Here's the push. Team Liquid getting closer by the second. Nons just trying to play it slow, leaning into the shotties. It's worked out a couple of times for him. Start to hear the footsteps. He's got an idea on the angle of approach. Red zone on top of him might make a little bit more noise, make it hard to find. Diffex doesn't have vision due to the way that the trees are kind of lining into Team Liquid's reposition on this. SoSed's not going to have much either. So Team Liquid has an easy pass to get over next to Nons, but they don't want to overstep. They don't want to feed more points into JDG. The point is to stop them, not let them get anything else out of it.
Oh, and a red zone on top of this fight to boot just to make matters worse. Team Liquid isn't going to commit to the fight. Seems like for now, they're just going to hold the line. They know that Nons is kind of in a spot where he's eventually gonna be forced to make a play. Liquid's still not convinced it's safe, and plus the red zone.
You still got Tanvu back behind you, gonna make it scary. Circle pops, still keeps in a little bit of army base, the hillside to the north of it, a lot to be played over there. So rotate's gonna be coming out for Angry Men as well as Twisted down to south. Navi's gonna try to run right in between this 2-2 split from Gam, but I think they might have eyes a little bit further north, not realizing how hot it is over here. Twisted's going to be following him back behind 4 Angry Men, but Navi, they're running into the wrong neighborhood, it feels like. This is just everybody converge. I don't know what JDG did to piss off everybody. I know a couple of good spots, but this has just been hunting them down. Team Liquid is focused on this.
It's pretty crazy, yeah. The way that a couple teams saw the kill feed and knew that they were both in precarious positions on the leaderboard and wanted to try to knock them out, prevent them from getting into the finals, I suppose, and it kind of worked, so not too bad. Navi rolling into the middle of the circle.
Shoddy comes up, doesn't get the knock. That's a problem. That is JDG down, and they only pick up 1 point, still sitting in that 18th place position.
Yeah, that's awful because Gen G got 2 more than you, plus Geeky still very much in the equation in this game. So, and also Sharper, who knows? Nemesis was one of the teams that took a couple of those kills, and they needed them to catch up to you as well. So a lot going on here.
Myth just trying to run right in back behind Navi, and that's all the shots you hear going off in the distance. Jacob's gonna go down. 4 Angry Men's got high ground up on top of Navi, but Myth just with so few options, just trying to bully their way into it all. But the center of the circle is just clustered. Everybody getting a piece of Myth right now.
Yeah, Myth is running in between a couple different teams, and they're just eliminated. They can't go any further. Ferris, though, takes a grenade to the teeth, and he is going to be knocked. Trying to get another one in there. Isn't going to go far enough. Just kind of getting caught up on the terrain, not able to roll downhill. Shen wants to load up with another grenade to try to take Ferris down. Does get him down to half in the knock state, but no follow-up just yet from 4 a.m. While they're losing players on the backside, HS gets taken down by Batulans.
Everybody has just gone for such a centered position in this hillside, coming out of Army base, leading down Indigo Dock. R8's also roaming over into the west. Looks like Nemesis trying to get a couple of shots on them. Every single kill that Nemesis can manage to secure could be big. Already sitting at 2. Sharper's going to be coming in from same pathing. Looks like they might have eyes onto the northern split for Geek as well as R8's rotate, but we have seen the fact that Sharper sometimes plays this early game very slow, letting everybody just kind of fight it out and then try to swoop in back behind it all. As this is just, I mean, nobody playing the northern part of the circle paper. It is just everybody clustered center down.
Yeah, Shen is doing a lot of work right now. He prevented the res there onto Ferris. Sparrow down as well. So things getting very, very uncomfortable for Na'Vi and 4 a.m. who needed a big game. Doing a little bit of work here early. Hakatori, it's actually Team Liquid there, shooting him a bit in the back and has to try to take a pause to get a little bit of meds potentially. Nope, gonna rethink it because 4 a.m.'s on the hunt.
I like this. 17, you can see, has called an emergency pickup over it all. Nade's gonna come up. Hakatori's gonna get the knock onto Winda, and any follow-up nades could just find more money to be had. Na'Vi moving around the north, trying to see how big of a game 4 Angry Men can find. There is an opportunity if they can somehow squeeze it out, but it is feeling bad. HS is going to go ahead and bleed out. Winda's continuing to do the same. Shin's trying to make something big happen. Spaceman on the other side, but they just can't find it. And Na'Vi is just being a beast. They're going to go ahead and get that one as well. And that leaves one player up for 4 Angry Men, and it feels like the dream is dying fast.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Those were really nice mollies there from Boostic. Really covered a lot of that side of where Shen was, forced him out into the open, even caught him with the fire as well. So it was great play from him that really dashed any hopes, and Geek sending it in.
There's potential points, and that's all Geek wants, right up on top of Team Liquid, who's been kind of the villain of the lobby so far. Alo does find a knock on a Song John. Can he find any more? EG's going to be playing the other side of it, trying to go for a peek around. Couple of shots. Park Pro managed to find one. See if anything else on the outside of it. Quick flushes. It is just Alo in a 1v3. Make it a 1v, or actually just all Team Liquid now eliminated. Fine and good. Geek getting those points. Impactful, sitting in that 15th place position.
And they were getting a little bit of pressure from Sharper behind them. So Sharper, speaking of, doing a little bit of damage to Gam, but the fact that you're able to get out of there as Geek, you're going to have all 4 up. You get a couple extra points. You're feeling really good now about solidifying your position into that grand final. So they may have just barely cricked in, but they're getting there.
If you're Sharper and your Nemesis right now, you're thinking it's doable. Watching all these guys start to falter in front of you, knowing Gen G is out, knowing JDG is out, you know that there's a big point total that you need to get. So how good of a position can you get around it? Nemesis has got a great spot that they're playing over into the northwest. R8's going to be one of the closest teams to them. Unfortunately, also going to be next to Twisted, which could be a problem. Sharper's going to put themselves right next to GAM, though, and I feel like that's a much bigger problem given how aggressive we can sometimes see GAM play.
Yeah, the issue for GAM is they're kind of pinned in between 17. We just saw as a P90 in hand. That being said, Tanvu getting it done with the Dragunov, finds one knock on the Sharper. So Sharper, who was going for sort of a barricade of GAM into this next circle, is starting to hemorrhage players just a little bit. The Res looking to come through. Geeky not going to reach out of their compound to see if they can third party or punish this fight. So for now, Sharper is taking it square on against GAM. 17 as well, pinned down by Falcon, so they're not really able to get involved.
I know that Sharper's trying to play for the late game. That's what they do, but when you're in this position, I feel like you need to get something bigger. It does look like they're trying to set up for it. Earth is trying to defend back the position that GAM's playing from. But you've kind of spotted a lot of the rotates, a lot of the big factors that are going on. 17 now moving could open up GAM to have a little bit more maneuverability room of their own to work with. But 17, where do you go? You passed on the emergency pickup a second ago. Now you're rolling right into Falcons T1 territory. But VC feeling great right now. This circle just popped right on top of them.
Yeah, the problem for 17 is they're going to be underneath the guns of T1. And just on the edge of the hill, though, making it kind of work. They're taking some damage. Vehicles holding on, but that's one down. EN going to rip Wenbo out. Shrimzy trying to take EN down, but cannot find enough damage. Just a little bit extra help here as Kickstart actually gets knocked by Raining, so T1 spread formation, able to keep Falcons from doing anything.
It was risky, but now 17 is the gatekeeping squad onto T1 and Falcons. GAM having a similar idea. They're going to mirror pathing just on the other side of T1. Far more free, but they're moving right up next to VC. A couple of shots going to be coming after them. Another emergency pickup's been called, and it's going to be coming out from Nemesis. Sharper's going to have to fight their way through potentially GK. That could be a massive firefight, as now Falcons going to have, oh no, it's Heather. Get away from Heather. Falcons, you want nothing to do with this man. He will ruin you.
And I think they realized it. They knew something bad was on its way. They were in a really uncomfortable spot, and they immediately dodged those grenades of Heather. Raining has an AUG to try to back him up. The response, though, not going to connect onto Heather, so going to be able to take the pony, try to get the heck out of there. We'll be good to go. Yeah, the backside of that pony pretty hard to shoot through.
Push coming happen right now from Nemesis. Looks like they're going to go after Geek's positioning as well. So Sharper still over there, just one player up. Doesn't look like any magic's going to happen for them either, but Nemesis roaming around the outside, trying to get distance away from Twisted. Not going to find too much. Very solid defensive line. T1 down to the south holding defense, but remember, they still need to get into the circle. Falcons has actually got plenty of maneuverability room over into the east.
Sosa just got back into the game. Just saw him come in with a parachute there, so he's going to be grouping up. Makan in trouble.
This is going to be dicey. Big firefight between these two teams right now. GK needs anything that they can find. Holding down 14th place. They want to get some space away from everything, but Nemesis, if they can get a roll going right now, they can put themselves back into it, but they need to deal with GK in front of them. Then one on the other side. Nemesis does get the knock on it too. Is this the start of something big?
That is not what you wanted to see. Geeke was trying to figure out a way where they didn't have to cluster behind that tree for safety. There just wasn't anything available. So now big points going into Nemesis's hands. Nice work there by Diffix to find the grenade. Melman able to step right in for the claim of more points, and Sungjang and Akkad have just left.
Rolls right by. VC is going to get some vision, a couple of shots at them, but Twisted going to get more involved. Then walk back behind all of Nemesis. And remember, it was Stade that survived so long inside that last game to buy them a couple more points. See how much more they can get away from all of it. Sosa just trying to stall out Twisted. I think that they want to get away from this firefight. It doesn't feel too good along this hillside. Well, yes, Nemesis does have the high ground. They know that it's a valley over into the east, and the circle's probably going to abandon them. And Twisted also not really feeling too good about this. Is going to separate away, go more over to the north, while T1's going to have to push down the south. Circle pops, and it stays right on top of VC.
Yeah, Perfectix does get a little bit of trailing damage, but not really able to connect much there as 17 and T1 dusting it up there on the southern edge of this circle. Tian Heather already in the knock state. Grenades out towards Xiao Wu. Happy Feet there, gonna keep him alive for now. Raining taken down by Tiggleton, so EN Type, the drop shot from Type is good. Takes down Xiao Wu, takes down 17.
Go ahead, run yourself back in, but you have to deal with a very high ground positioning coming up from Vicious, because yes, their positioning is quite vicious. Geeke's got control on angle over onto Twisted. Twisted's going to be more forced to the north. Nemesis, where are you going to go? It looks like they just might be trying to cut east. That could put them into the remnants of GK, but Twisted really can't get out of the spot. They've got R8 back behind them. Lou's already spotted out what's going to be going on over there. They're starting to realize maybe we just have to take this fight with Nemesis down the south. Let's see if we can find something. SatanSid going to shoot a couple of bullets to see if he can dissuade it, while Thanawat's still back behind Nemesis, waiting for his moment.
Oh, man. I mean, Thanawat needs to go big here. He needs to get a couple kills at the very least. He'd love to survive later into the game. That might be plan A, but he needs to take the points where he can get them. Is he going to go for SatanSid there? No. SatanSid just going to drive on by, and they're going to get down around the hill. They're trying to make a southern wrap underneath GK's eyes.
Oh, GK, what's your defense like? This is a squad you need to hold back, and you need to hold them back in a big way. Trying to get smokes down for defense. Other side, nades rolling out, doesn't connect on one side. Other vehicle does find it. Songjong gets a knock. Stade's going to go down. But just 2 players up for GK could make this problematic. They need to defend strong, and Twisted is actually wrapping back behind on top of a con. This is a problem. Songjong needs to finish this fast.
Songjong needs these points. He really needs to find a way to get them, but he's feeling the pressure from the other side. And here come the grenade barrages from Twisted Minds. He is in trouble. He really is stuck inside of there. He needs a con to go crazy on this side against Twisted.
Falcons are doing a great job on corralling T1, and that's putting them back into this similar path, and VC still has high ground control over it all. Dipx trying to find something. SatanSid doesn't get the knock. DK goes down, finding more points. Nemesis trying to rally. They want to get themselves back up, but they have so many problems. Just 1 player in Dipx now alive, and it's T1 one side, Twisted on the other. That's going to feel terrible.
And there's Thanawat. He strikes and starts claiming points. T1 right on his backside immediately, though. And they're going to start taking players down from Nemesis. They have been eliminated, only at 48 points for them. Heather, grenade in hand. If it's on point, he's done, and he's got it. He just cannot miss today.
Just both sides getting hammered from there, as now T1's going to continue their wrap. Maybe eyes onto Twisted. Nature of the beast on this circle is you got Vicious, super high ground, a couple of odd rot croppings coming down. It almost feels more like a Stalber ending if you look at the way that this land settles. Falcons going to be east, comfortable. VC on the new circle pop. They're going to have 2 of their players up, high ground. Everybody else nowhere near the circle.
Yeah, this one looking like it might just come down to Falcons, VC, R8, depending on how this all shakes out in the southwest side. T1.
You guys didn't see that. He was shaking his head really hard at R8.
Nope, never. I would never do that. What do you mean? Twisted Minds having a little bit of trouble, but man, Lou hit some nice shots with the M24. Seen him in the kill feed a couple times with that. The grenades to try to finish off aimbot down there. They're not quite all the way through, but probably good enough.
I mean, the quiet day for Twisted, not needing to have a big explosive day for themselves is big. Ooh, I love how well that was cooked. Just go ahead and get the flush out on it. All right, what you got? Okay, AJ, sorry, you've got yourself a nice little position to play for. Dig yourself a little hole there, as it's all rock and stone for R8 time being. Falcons gonna have plenty of space to wrap over into the east. Weakened Twisted Minds now has to deal with VC and T1. I don't know where you go. I mean, there's a little bit of a ridge that they can play, but it's gonna be right in front of R8.
Okay. Just going to be watching Lou drive right next to them, and yeah, that's easy work for Type and Heather. Not too hard when you're afforded a pretty clean angle and a not super fast car driving by you. VC not really getting involved in this too much. They're busy dialed in towards Batulin's angle. R8 trying to get something done, trying to sled their way in up this hill, but really Duckmai has kind of thwarted any of their attempts.
He's just got such a great position on this trench. Batulin's did find that little bit of a ridge I was talking about a second ago, so at least get somewhere away from R8 for a second. We're back to the sneaky snake, and Batulin's last one alive. VC looking like they're going to shift their focus more T1-sided. They're going to try to creep in the circle. R8 actually also getting some vision onto T1, so Falcon's going to have easy pathing all the way over to the northeast. Now have vision onto the back tail end of what's going on with AJ and R8.
Yeah, I mean, Falcons are probably looking to claim this game. Tiggleton going to line up some mortar shots even. Probably going to try to put those on top of VC's players' heads that are up on this mountainside. Simon T, Tycon could be looking at some barrages their way. Ian does scoop up a P90. Scary to see T1 have that in their hands. And here the mortars begin. Tycon gets some good shots into Ian, but can't get the finish. Oh, these are going at R8?
Looks like they're just trying to get him away from his tree. Instead, they give him more holes so he can continue digging. Have tons of different options wherever he wants to hide out at, as I don't know. Falcons, they've got themselves that control point to play from, but I love Observers. Thank you so much for showing us the verticality at play in here and why we're not really seeing too many shots coming out of VC. That giant rock cropping over there does lean down in the southwest, so that means that T1's playing it and trying to keep a focus on what's going on with the Tulins, R8, everything else like that. And VC doesn't have the cleanest lines until you step around that corner like Ian just did.
That was solid stuff from Tycon. Knew that he still had another angle that he could position himself into to finish off what he started onto EN. And was right there to clean up the job. So that's one player down on one of their bigger threats right now for Vicious is T1, who are looking on the outside of this new circle. Are they just going to wrap around the eastern side, but that means they're going to run into Tickleton sightlines, or are they going to just try to sneak right underneath Vicious, see if they can get that done? Duckmite and actually Tycon there combining to do a little bit of damage into Empty. Who's just trying to find a way in.
I love the fact you pointed out Falcons have left Tickleton behind down into the southeast to make sure that nobody from T1 wraps around. Falcons already sent also Shrimsy and Gustav in control over the northwest, or actually just due north to see if they can stop out R8 and any rotate. But you can see it gets really complicated over here. They hear the vehicles roll in. How the nade's going to be cooked, they're going to be throwing them AJ's side. So it's going to be Shrimsy gets knocked onto Empty. And good old AJ still alive at his tree for the time being. His kickstart, I think, is going for a full wrap back around. Nope, Shrimsy's going to go ahead and make it easier, get the knock onto AJ. Now it's just Teddy, the last one up, watching his friends die at range.
Yeah, Teddy's just like, well, I can't really do much. Now he's in grenade range of VC, so he just took one of the chops. Meanwhile, Tycon looking to try to steal that point, will do so. Falcons not going to claim it, but not going to be too bothered by that, considering their position on the leaderboard.
Tickleton has abandoned the defense of the southeast. He's going to go ahead and regroup, so it looks like it is going to be Falcons lined up against R8. Squeaking in right next to Duckmai as Batulin's still alive, and T1 has actually moved into the shadow of VC's cliffside, trying to find some safety.
Ooh, a brief little moment there. Gustav got a little bit of eyes onto Tycon. It's actually Heather who finds another good grenade onto Tycon. Did take down Type, though, before he was knocked, so T1 going to have to stall out. Actually, Type inside of that blue zone nade is probably going to bleed out.
T1 kind of helping out the rest of the lobby right now, distracting VC on their high ground, having to dodge out these nades. Pretty decently cooked so far, does still get some damage, so you can see every single time that VC has to step away from the nades from T1, it puts them into the Falcon sight lines, and it's two different teams trying to punish the squad, and T1 is intentionally throwing their nades, knowing that, expecting somebody to the north to assist every time that VC has to move.
T1 just barely got to Type in time, and they were able to get that res through. I didn't know if that was going to be possible. T1 being diligent, clearing out all the hidey holes on top of this rock. Heather going to start scaling his way forward. Simon T trying to watch it. Has not seen Heather just yet, but a molly there gonna disallow him, and the shot from Type. That was such a smart molly. I think that other molly hit his teammate.
I was gonna say, didn't he just drop one on his teammate? Everybody got too excited. It's like, we finally get the high ground. That's such a hard push up onto the top, and it's gonna be Duckmine now looking up over the rock croppings that VC's had control for so long, and he's gonna go down. Batulin tries to see if he can get the flush. He is gonna find it. Falcons got control of the low ground, and it is gonna be T1 trying to see if they can fight their way down the hillside.
That first molly was so smart from T1 because it denies the TPP peek. That was so intelligent from them. A little bit of an oopsies on the other side of it, but regardless, it does end up in their favor. And here we go. More mortars, and who else would you expect other than Tickleton? First one, a little bit off to the side. Second one goes just too deep to take care of Type. Third, almost gets Heather.
Getting to be money. Follow-up does get it. Tig gets the knock on to Heather. Some vengeance finally stabbing back with Falcons, and they just continue to rain them down.
Yeah, how many more does he have left? That's the real question. Used quite a few already. Shot 2 earlier over towards R8, and that was at least 4. So usually you can only get about 6 coming with you in a car trunk, depending on how you kind of shake things out. And seems like, I'm not sure if he's got any more. Just, again, depends on how many they were able to fit into X amount of cars that they're able to bring with them. But for now, Teddy just wants to survive, just wants to keep himself in this somehow, some way, make a respectable finish for his squad.
I mean, he's only 2 points back behind 4 Angry Men right now, and I figure a lot of squads would take some respect from managing to at least finish ahead of 4 Angry Men. High side of this one, Heather's going to start getting more vision. It's going to come down to the center dot control, which is mostly going to be Falcons. T1 having to move down with VC having a player right down underneath him. He's going to get spotted, though. How much is Pete going to go for? Does it manage to take down Pal? So you're going to keep going for the more bold peek onto this one. Could find yourself vulnerable as the Tulans might want a piece, but I think Sneaky Snake the Tulans just trying to watch. Nope, he finally does pull the trigger, but it's a bit too late.
Heather's got 5 kills again. He is just a monster. And the rest of the lobby trying to see if they can slow him down, but Trimsy in trouble, raining and Type. Find him out in the open, get the knock. Type then using these stuns to try to get a new angle.
Great positional play coming up from Type. They've abandoned that one hillside, using the trench to really push down into the face of Falcons. Tig now gonna have to defend, going for a couple of shots to see if he can slow down the pacing. Shrimsy still down back behind all of this, and the control the Falcons had in the lower sections just getting pulled apart too many different ways. T1's finding it again, and continues to be a problem for Falcons to deal with at range now. It is going to be T1 on 11 kills, running down the hillside with 2 up, and Falcons 82 points, trying to find more, sitting at 4 right now. It's going to be Gustav and Shrimsy over into the northwest.
That high-low setup there between Type and Raining, really, really nicely timed and orchestrated. Got those players that were stuck behind that rock dead to rights, where they just had to choose one of 2 bad options before they were taken down. Really good coordination being shown by T1, but it's a 2v2 right now. Falcon Shrimsy still has quite a few smokes left in the grenade launcher. A little bit of damage into Gustav. Heather just gets a glimpse, but can't connect for the knock.
Overall, both these squads qualified, but Falcons wants to get some vengeance back. T1 has just been doing such a great job against Falcons over and over again. Can Falcons find anything here? Smokes down. Center control still does favor Falcons as T1's playing right up against the blue zone. Gustav doesn't have much space to work with. This is all coming down. Smokes in the middle. Gustav takes a lot of damage from the blue zone. Couple of shots. Shrimsy gets punished, but Shrimsy does get the knock on Type, feeding the information over, but it is the beast in Heather in the middle control, trying to make sure you can find anything else, and T1 manages to find it again.
They just cannot be stopped right now. This group stage has been absolutely incredible from T1. Heather into the 1v1, and good for it, as you would just kind of expect at this point. With the way he's been playing, it feels like there's no hope when you're going up in a 1v1 against him.
All right, we've been talking a lot about top 16 and how great everything's going. This game, though, from T1 might put them back into first place touching distance of Myth.
Yep.
And while it's not the biggest thing, we do have some, I guess, some triangles that need to be ground up here in a little while at the end of the day. Whoever gets first place, I believe, is the one that manages to do that. So suddenly we do have a 2-horse race up at the top, I believe.
Yeah, man, there's something to be played for here if you just want to go and pull that lever and watch the other team's triangles fall into the crusher. So that would be rather fun for T1, I suspect, if they can keep it up. And they certainly look incredible. I mean, some great stuff, and the battle continues between Falcons and T1 here in Paris. They have been going at it seemingly since the get-go, and this time T1 again gonna get the better of Falcons.
Not even excited about it, guys? Come on. Oh, okay, well, still having some fun with it. This is a lot of, there's so much to break down inside the game. Do you want to start with Team Liquid, JDG having to make the full run across, everybody in the hunt just collapsing onto that building, trying to see if they can take out somebody that's in the competition for top 16? What was that? I've been waiting for that to happen for so long.
That was a really interesting scenario, and I kind of like it because so many other teams around that, like, I feel like in the old days of PUBG, teams would have just let that fight go and been like, all right, you guys do you. But the rest of the teams are like, no, wait, we can punish both of them. Because they're at the exact same spot of the leaderboard starting that game, so why not? And I mean, for either of those teams, I kind of get it. Like, as Gen G, you have to take that fight at that point.
Man, there is so much to go through all of this. It's just crazy. We still got one game left to figure out who is going to be in our top 16. Don't go anywhere.
On a lot of people's minds always is, who is the GOAT of PUBG esports? Well, we asked all the players to find out exactly who they think.
My GOAT of PUBG is Loki because he's got the most winnings. You know, he's back to back to back to back. He can't stop winning. He's retired now, but I think he's the GOAT.
我认为 PUBG 最伟大的选手算是伍佰，因为他拿过很多荣誉，然后加上他年龄也非常大了，然后之前坚守的一些东西，他能在世界赛完成的，他的状态很好。
สำหรับผมก็โค้ช PUBG ไม่ได้มีแค่คนเดียวครับสำหรับผมจะมี3คนนะครับผมให้คิสแล้วก็บารินแล้วก็สแคปปี้ครับผมเพราะว่า3คนนี้เล่นด้วยกันแล้วทำได้ดีครับผม
เจคอบครับเพราะว่าจริงๆเขาเป็นปีศาจที่ถือกำเนิดโดยการที่มาอยู่ทีมเดียวกับผมครับ
For me personally, it's still Loki. He's just every team that he's been on has done really well except for Damwon Kia. He's won, I think, 4 world championships or 3, consistently just the best player. Does a really good job on whatever team he's on in a support role, an aggressive role. It doesn't really matter. You could throw him anywhere in any era and he's just good. So that's my go for sure.
제 생각에서 PUBG 고트라고 생각하는 선수는 쉬림지 선수고 그 이유는 뭐 다른 티글튼이나 이그샘플 같은 좀 슈퍼스타들과는 달리 묵묵하게 팀에서 할 수 있는 걸 많이 해주는 선수고 제가 보기에는 배그라는 게임을 가장 잘 이해하고 잘하는 선수라고 생각을 해서 쉬림지가 고트라고 생각합니다.
I would say Hagatari because he has best aim, best positioning in the game understanding, game sense.
I pick up the Loki and one more pick is BATTLEGROUNDS because he's very smart and I learned to him so I pick Loki and BATTLEGROUNds.
T1 coming in hot that last match for everybody. Wrong way, there you go. QR code is going to spawn in at some stuff, which I mean, honestly, for some of those rewards there, I want to be able to join it, but I can't because I'm currently here at PUBG Battlegrounds at EWC 26. And while you're doing that, don't forget to do your pick'ems. Go to the EWC website, go to the app, and select who you think is going to be moving forward to the finals as we head into our final game. And use that hashtag EWC, hashtag EWC26, as we've been able to see some great memes coming out from today's broadcast.
Yes.
But T1,
can I talk about it now?
Yes, you can.
Yes. Okay, T1, 43 points on the first day. They looked so good in that last game. I don't think anyone expected this. It's a different type of day to end this. Whether or not we expected it, it has been raining points. These guys are incredible at what they do. I was excited.
Safe?
It's safe to come back. It's safe to,
okay,
I mean, it's a huge day. At the start of the day, we talked about it. Yeah, are they going to be able to pull this off? Can they make the big push? And look at them. Look at them now. They're incredible. They're unstoppable.
Okay, all right. Yeah, all right. T1, they were insane, yes. And the fact that they actually made Path Myth is, I think, really impressive stuff. On top of the fact that finally the boys, the Falcons, Team Liquid, they've made it safe, right? We know they're going to make it, but the cusp teams, man, we are so close to finding out. In fact, we are one game away to finding out who exactly is going to be going to the grand finals and who's going to be going home salty.
And as we're going to be talking about those teams, you know, pull up that overall. Yes, match report is cool and all. We see Falcons, we see T1. Heather is definitely one of the main storylines when it comes down to groups, but this is what I want to see. By the way, top 16, just if for some reason this is your first time tuning in, top 16 will be moving on to the finals. The rest will be getting their keys crushed by whoever is in first place. Right now, it's looking like me, but you saw it, T1 making that bounce back, but I want to keep it going. I want to see some of the other squads. I want to get to that 16th place if we can, Tamash, because those squads are going to be fighting tooth and nail, and we had squads from Group A that are in barely, and I mean barely in the cups.
Steve, you mentioned it as well at the top of the show. We're like, these teams are probably out. These teams are probably... Look, Shadow is still technically in the running. But the reason why is because JDG, Genji, Sharper, Nemesis, these teams have had absolute poor days. And I mean, they really have not gotten any points at all, Steve.
Yeah, it's been very, very tough for them. As you look at this cutoff right here, remember, it's about making that top 16. So 53 currently as the cutoff is absolutely wild. Now, do I think Shadow Esports is safe? No, I don't, because there's a couple of teams on the chase. In fact, JDG now at 51, Gen G at 53. Those both are in that pursuit. But what it means is Supers included. These guys have a very stressful minutes ahead of them. Full Sense is the second cutoff after Shadow Esports. That means getting past 53 is not enough to guarantee your spot. There are at least 4 separate teams jamming to try to get above that 60.
Dude, it's crazy, and they're all just right on the cusp. 51, 50, 48 points. Genji with 53. I mean, a sneeze could get them in the top 16 at this point.
Well, you look below that, JDG is at 51, Sharper at 50, and then Nemesis technically is at 48, which is not completely out of it. They had a banger of a match. They got some good points on the last one. And if we're talking about 53 as the cutoff, I'm just saying there's a world where teams could die without points, right? That happens all the time. You lose 2 or 3 of those, and Nemesis is back in the hunt. So no one is there. There's like 4 teams not out of it, 5 if they get super lucky, but it is going to be a race here at the end.
Oh, we're going to be keeping a close eye too on those teams earlier in those first pages, because if they go out early, it's just going to open up the door, and then we're going to start looking at not just Supers and not just Shadow Esports maybe not making it to the finals, but we're also going to start looking at Full Sense, at AGAL. Those are teams that are currently at 61 points, and honestly, with the way it's currently looking, it could end up being a couple great matches from some of their squads from Group C and Group B, and pushing those teams out.
I agree. I think when we talk about there's a little bit of a stressor for Geekay here. I think they need to come out, and I don't hope they don't play too defensive, but they only need like 3 points to sort of guarantee their advance. But that's kind of, for me, that's almost worst case scenario, because when you land, you're like, do I play this aggressive? Do I look for those 3 points?
How many times
away?
have we seen a team play safe, Steve, and it ends up being their downfall?
I agree. Never play safe. Never go full Duncan. You got to get out there and you got to do your best.
I mean,
that's a lot of donuts.
Yeah, bro. You're really. Last time it was a nothing burger. This time it's donuts.
Have you seen us?
I have. You know what? I'm getting hungry. Luckily, we are going to be heading into that final game. But now into the final game, right? We talked about those squads that need to need to clutch up here in the final game to actually do it. The thing is, we saw it earlier too. We saw it before this match. We see now some of the other squads start performing. Balkans, Famas consistently now getting towards the end of the game and sponging up points. T1 as well. You're saying today, an amazing day. The other squads, they might need to go for broke. I'm not saying hunt them down, but they need to keep an eye out for it.
You know what? I'd rather, Steve, see a team go for broke and just leave it all on the line than just play safe and then hope to goodness that they're going to get the points we need. That's not what makes champions. That's not what earning it here at EWC is all about.
You know, so I think we've seen some of the juggernauts awaken in these last games, which is not surprising. That also worries me if I'm one of the 5 teams on the chase, because if those juggernauts see me in the kill feed and they hear those gunshots and they know that they would rather have Shadow Esports or someone like that in the final, they can come mess with me, right? Because there's 5 teams that are jumping over each other. They're playing the most fatal game of leapfrog I have ever seen, and that is what this round is going to be.
Also, think about this. If you're one of the teams in the top 5 and you see, hey, DNS is kind of on the cusp. Genji's kind of pushing this other team. Let's see what happens. Maybe Genji can get that wipe, because if I'm looking at a team like Supers, I don't want them in the grand finals, right? All these teams that are strong on the cusp that did not have a good group stage. Essentially, if you're on the top, you can dictate exactly how this lobby goes. Myth, they might even just sit on the edge if they want to and just specifically hunt a team. Do I think they're going to do that? No, but the point is the possibility is there.
That leaderboard is going to be moving as we head to the final game of PUBG Battlegrounds at EWC 26. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get our 16 teams that are going to the finals, and we're going to be getting 8 teams going home.
Welcome to the reason why I love PUBG Esports. We've got 2 squads not playing today. That is going to be Shadow sitting right at the cusp. They're at 55 points. Supers back behind them, not playing. 53 points. That's 15th and 16th respectively. Genji presently tied with Supers at 53 points back behind it. A point one way or the other can dictate your destiny, and you've got Team Liquid looming large in the background after a crazy chase onto JDG in that last game.
Yeah, I mean, it's really important here that you kind of take that lesson that you learned from that previous game. If your teams like JDG, Genji, or even Nemesis, who needs to get deep into a game, who needs to, really have a big moment to try to get into that grand finals, and there's teams hunting. We've already seen it. We saw it in the previous game with Liquid, and then T1 even a little bit kind of sniffing out at that fight. So you had a couple different teams that are out there just saying, we're going to try to deny you because we want to keep, potentially Shadow Esports in the next lobby.
What is going to happen here? I'm waiting to see how the drops are coming out for this. Remember, we also do have the fight for first and who gets to kind of crush the keys. Only 8 points up there, but whenever we look at T1 and Myth, 8 points is either a big difference or not a difference, because sometimes it's go big or go home. See how these drops come out. JDG look like they're going to be right at the end of it all. Slow rotating over there, and of course, Team Liquid just to the south. Maybe a little bit of a fight over vehicles as Team Liquid is sending somebody right into the JDG drop.
Oh boy, that is Luke 12 there.
Yep.
Maybe just trying to steal a vehicle, actually. I mean, you could grab the one that's close to the bridge and then take it over if he so chose. Just wait and see, and that circle is absolutely awful.
Okay, well, Georgia Pole, JDG, all these guys up at the top. Nemesis, get ready. You're about to have to make a quick path. Razak also look where Gen G is going to be at, but DK already right on the edge of this, or right in pretty much, I guess, the center? What do you want to call the center of the circle? I guess it's military, but
water?
Really? Right. Luke, how is the car extrication going? He is about half health, but it looks like he's going to get away with it. So with those shots, JDG, this is such a terrible way to start because Team Liquid stealing these vehicles just makes it harder and harder for those couple of points you need, because JDG doesn't need much. They just need to get, what, 2 points, and then they're at least up there, and then they just have to worry about everybody else and how their game's going.
Yeah, they need 3 to get ahead of Supers, and then they have to finish ahead of Gen G. And if you get 5, then you're feeling really good. Yeah, hello, Gustav.
In
How are
South
you?
George?
You know, it's fine.
Yeah, it's okay.
He's chilling. I mean, he's got a few Falcons players around him. This doesn't matter. It's kind of funny. This almost matters more for Liquid, not to anything to do with getting into the finals, but because Liquid, I think, is pretty keen on messing with JDG from what we've seen.
Really, JDG, I mean, they have to, their whole game, they're going to have a target on their backs. If a fight breaks out, Team Liquid, they're playing with points in the bag, 68 right now. They can just crash whatever they want, and the reason why they're messing with JDG is look at what we're looking at right now. South George, North George squads makes it hard to rotate, especially if you get a northern circle. You're going to be right on top of each other. You're vying for vehicles based off of drops. Team Liquid is playing the long game on this one and not afraid to be the villain if they have to do a couple of things. Not necessarily untoward towards JDG, but I mean, if
it's fair game. I mean, that's part of the equation there. I don't know what happened to Baron. It's fine. I mean, Myth is. I mean, again, Myth, you're playing you're playing right. You're playing for the key crush spot, like at this point. So that's, I guess, maybe impactful, but look, at the end of the day,
I'll say karmatic for me, because while everybody else is having a serious conversation about GOATs, they're like, oh, my team. I love you, Myth.
Oh, when they were picking their own players?
That was a cowardly answer.
Yeah.
Cowardly answer.
I'm with you on that. I liked everybody else because I'm like, oh, yes, I agree with that. Oh, Uva, yes. Loki, absolutely. Shrimzy, interesting choice that I kind of agree with because I think he's been incredible throughout his career. Then you just pick your own teammates. I mean, don't get me wrong, Jacob has been exactly what Myth needed to push them into the top tier of PUBG esports, but yeah, come on, bros. Come on.
A little bit more consistency on wins coming out. Myth might have, there's an argument for in the future or maybe right now they're the GOATs, but usually when you think of it, it's
you
like
gotta win a PGC. Gotta win a PGC.
That's what the OAT side of it is, right? As now most of our squads are starting to make more commitments into rotation positions, and this is going to be a very small circle given how much water is going to be in play. Sharper's just going to go full Navy right now. T1's got a 2-2 split on Military Base Island. DK is just going to be to the south of them. Myth's going to have the hillsides just to the north of Military Base proper. Gam's going to go for bridge control, and 17's going to go for the ice chest over into the east.
You're my oath side.
Hey, I was trying hard not to make a joke about it. Thank you. People tend to forget about it. I'm always just matching.
Yeah, I mean, that's like 99% of what you
I was this close to actually having my like handle be Quaker. I was like, nah. I think it's technically better long term.
I could have gone with Darth.
Darth? Yeah. Oh, Darth Vader. That's actually really good.
Yeah.
Okay, look, it's time for us to rebrand.
All right. The Quaker Darth. All right, let's focus in on the game.
That's way better.
Okay. Yeah, all right.
Rotates over to the east. Na'Vi, a little bit of a bridge camp. VC's got eyes on it. VC presently sitting in a good position. Na'Vi also in a good position, but I don't know if VC is going to make too much of a commitment onto the bridge camp. He's got multiple players already inside of vehicles, and that's a BRDM. So Simon might get some damage and a knock, but it's really just whatever he can find. If anything, that kind of lets Na'Vi rotate ahead of you, right?
I think really importantly here, we got to notice that JDG is in an emergency pickup, and there's not a ton that they have to work with. Thank you, observers. You're right on point today. You guys have been amazing. there's like the very southern compounds is basically what you have to work with if you drop onto the military island. But even that's a little bit of a gamble in this. So I think the good news here is for JDG, you've got out of that bad situation that Team Liquid's trying to put you in. The bad news is you're flipping a coin.
Are you really out of it is my question, because usually whenever you go for one of these types of pushes on military base, you want to play that coastal line, right? To try to put your backs to where you don't have any information, you have no idea where anybody's set. But on this circle, because it's still so western laid, that's going to be near Ferry Pier, and you have to assume that maybe somebody could take a wrap over there. So even playing that position doesn't feel good. Instead, you might be dropping right on top of DK, Sharper, or T1 of all squads.
Exactly, and so you're going to have to go way south as JDG, and then are you going to be able to get vehicles? Are there any left on this road? Because if there's not, trying to make foot pushes out in this part of the map can be very, very difficult. And already, December to the 12th, taking a few shots here and there, but they will find some level of stability. It is not the best compound in the world, though.
That is actually really big. That was GK taking those shots. If they had gotten a knock onto one of the JDG players, that might have been a go signal, because GK is presently sitting at 59 points in that 4th place position. Gen G still just trying to touch one more point and get up there. Of course, JDG as well. The gamble right now, think about that. If you're GK, if you're JDG, you look at this circle of all circles, and you're having to pick, do I stay on the main island?
Yep.
Or do I go Millie? The circles could be absolutely brutal for these squads in the hunt now. If it goes north, 2 squads vying for survival right now could be in a bad spot. No, it could be in a bad spot too.
Yeah, probably. But I think more importantly in this game is the fact that, okay, well, now I have to hold my thought because Vicious is camping a bridge, because of course they are. Why wouldn't you? It's a team with Tycon on it. They don't mind causing a little bit of chaos. So Twisted going to have to try to drive around this. They will be able to do so, it looks like. So, okay, I think I can talk about this. So.
Yep, go.
Really important thing here, the fact that Team Liquid was barreling down on top of JDG forced out their emergency pickup really early, well before you'd want to. Now look at Nemesis. They are taking theirs, so they time it with the phase 2 pop, so they have a better idea of if this is going to be a 50-50 or not, so they can make a better educated decision on where to land and potentially get themselves further in the game.
Gen G not even opting to go for any movement yet right now. They're still over in Rozhok, kind of playing around Boatyard as well. Interestingly enough, Team Liquid has moved over to Pachinki. I guess maybe just get a little bit more loot based off the timings, because remember, they were next to Falcons. Falcons making the wrap on Ferry Pier. Where are we going? Is it going to be friendly to those in the hunt in JDG and GK? And yes, it is. It pops down to the south. Math favors them, so everybody that was slow on rotate. This is the other side of the gamble. JDG, GK, they went for military base. On the other side, now we're going to have the squads in Nemesis, in Gen G. They're going to be on the chase for the circle while everybody else is doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, the circle is absolutely awful. I mean, it's like still 50% water even in phase 2. The good news for JDG is you flipped that coin correctly. It came up heads. The bad news for Nemesis is because you, I think, made the smarter play, the safer play. You might get punished for this because you're coming in so late. Now, there is still room on the southern edge, so they still have some availability of space to work with. But again, you're probably not going to get vehicles here as Nemesis, and making foot pushes in this part of the map, hard.
A couple of rotates, of course. Myth and Twisted are rotating near each other. VC also going to be over there, but we're kind of watching the rotates and the focal points for where people are going to be fighting for the cusp positions to qualify. 4 Angry Men also going to be going for a big emergency pickup all the way over in the northeast. Nemesis looks like they've got a focal point right on top of the exact same building that JDG is in, while there's going to be a wrap coming up from Gam right below them. We already saw the Gam will get involved. Big shots come up. Cold gets a knock on the stage to start it all. And Nemesis, you're in trouble. You were fighting for survival. You needed some points, and instead you feed them to JDG.
That is unbelievable. They go right to the worst spot possible. Melman getting lit up, trying to get over the fence, but there's grenades on both sides. He's just done. That is absolute madness. Where does that put JDG? Tied with Gen G, but they still don't have enough to get past supers.
Oh, we ain't done yet. Sharper in a lot of trouble. 17 just lands in the face. Yao Wu doesn't even care. 17 with 1 player down. Sharper in a lot of trouble on the outside of this, just watching their teammates fall.
Now you got to play salvage. There's no hope to get back to Kanawat. So the other 2 players need to just survive, and they coming out from that coast is really, really tricky. If the circle moves away from it, you're kind of just left running in flat open terrain. I mean, the good news is that these days, of course, there's the destructible terrain, so you have some better options than you used to, but it is still tricky to say the least. Meanwhile, Xiao Wu will be res 17 4 strong once again. Another emergency pickup, this time 4 a.m. Going to make their go of it.
Long one from them. Gen G just playing for placement points, still outside the blue zone, playing it slow, patient. Myth Twisted, we saw them just a moment ago kind of bumping up and rotate. They're going to be playing the actual airport itself, leading into the airfields and where all the planes going to be landing at. Navi's in a great position in the circle, Geek as well. So that's the other thing to be looking at, is now that Geek has moved into that 14th place position, if they can close out any of the doors back behind them. Sharper now in trouble at that 50-point cut line as Falcons going full on Navy. No big need to get into the circle too fast, as they're going to be fine. Emergency pickup, though, finally called for Gen G.
I was wondering what they were doing, because they were out in Narnia, just looking for maybe an emergency pickup period, probably just scouting houses. That is going to cut out a lot of the water, fortunately, for these teams, so they don't have to worry about that too much more. And Gen G going to be the last ones to the island party. And we'll see if they're able to find anything safe inside of the circle. It's not going to be easy, to say the least. And there goes 4 a.m. They're trying to drop in, and you can see anywhere you try to go is hot and dangerous.
This hillside can kind of be somewhere to hide out in for the time being, but the size of this circle is going to make it scarier the faster this goes on and the longer it goes. Gen G with their emergency pickup, not going to have too many options. So whenever we look at this, remember that this is the hillside coming out of military base proper into the west. So Geek is going to have the high ground control on everything. It's also pretty open all around it, right? If you look over in the east, nobody can really play that. There's those couple of compounds that lead into the shadow of military base proper that Navi's got control over. Everybody else is pretty much just going to be playing in dips from this point forward. So a late rotate could be a problem, and Gen G, who just needs a point or two, could falter here.
Dude, Matt, this is the game here for Gen G. They have to find somewhere to land in this circle, and it has to be safe. Sure, T1, Team Liquid, they're having a little bit of a dust-up. EN probably as Alo dead, indeed he does. M4 going to connect, runs out of bullets, so can't follow through. Curdy will take down Raining in response, but as the UI is there for a bit of safety, hopping around the seats. Cowboy also on the scene.
So this is a problem with this firefight going on as loud and heavy as it is in the northern section. Gen G is going to see that first. Know that they can't drop off in the northern section. Instead, they're going to probably pull down in the south, where Falcons just made landfall, where we saw 17 go, where we have 4 angry men at. It's going to be so dicey over there as Team Liquid still just trying to fight. Get this one out. Heather's going to be on the side of it, seeing if he can get the better of Cowboy, but it's just going to be too big of a crossfire that's been set up for Team Liquid now as they're just balancing back between it all. Cowboy knows where they're at, but this is the circle that we're looking at from here on out. There's not many trees. There's not too many other cover pieces to play. It's going to be burning smokes early in these types of firefights. They're going to be a problem. As here comes Gen G. Where do they opt into going?
By Falcons. It's right next to Falcons. They're already getting tagged. Gustav there can't maintain his footing. He's actually going to drop down, parachuting through. Going to match Bean there. Bean takes a bunch of damage on the drop, and it's going to be Trimsy who catches him.
That's one down. Their others did at least manage to touch the ground, but it's going to be very hard to play over here. More is now coming out. Don't know exactly where they're going to be going. Sharper still clinging to life over here, as at least Gen G has their backs into a safe position for the time being. Kickstart, though, is also over into the west, roaming around on the outside of the spotting it in T1, now being a little bit done with whatever's going on to the north with Team Liquid, has set their eyes into where we can see Gen G kind of playing from.
Feels like it's on to JDG now to be the ones to supplant the supers. See if they can do that as T1 continues to crumble. It is Heather alive, though, and we know what he can do even on his own. Over towards our next circle. Oh my God.
Gen G.
You have got to be kidding.
You are feeling so lucky right now. Geek, you're just feeling cursed. You've got to come down out of your high ground. Roaming Team Liquid up at the top, still kind of contesting up against T1. I think that's going to be finishing out here pretty fast, but it is Heather. Heather can continue to put in work. He's a one-man army in and of themselves, but Nate is going to finish him out. Team Liquid has to make a path down. JDG, Geek both have to get into a circle that's going to be really open, man. This is what I've been seeing for so long.
This is really scary. I know, it is pretty funny. It's so slow, dude. It takes forever to get there. But this is so scary for Gen G. You're going to see that coming. You're like, there's nothing we can do about this.
Twisted. They're going to run right into Falcon's positioning if any of those kills. Yes, Soul does get the flush onto one, but Example pops out, gets the knock on to Tiggleton. Can we see Gen G find any of this? No, the angles are wrong as R8's also coming in this angle.
Oh my God, and that's Super's out. That's Gen G in the 16th, so DNS will not be making it to the grand finals. Quite shockingly, Example going to try to set up some smokes to keep himself obscured from his east. He has that MG3. Falcons trying to get into a position to do something about it, but Trimsy getting lit up by R8.
presently looking at a couple of little fights between this, and this is so close on the leaderboard. Jinji in that 16th place position you're talking about, but it is also going to be JDG with the kills that they found a second ago, tied in 54. SP sitting at 2 players alive at 50, trying to fight their way. JDG, so few options. They just have 1 player up, and they have to run through Gam as well as Geek. Geek is going to go for the wrap down into the lower section. That's where Navi's at. That's where 4 Angry Men and Myth are all going to be at. That's going to be a hellacious run. Can December 12th even survive to find anything else as Gam and Tanvu keeps looking his direction?
He's looking for Luke 12. He wants that point so desperately. He's going to get the spot onto him. Not sure if he's going to claim it. Hakatori is going to fall to EJ. Geek should be good to go at this point.
Oh, everything's stacking up. Myth finding more points. That's going to be big. But where do you go other side of this one? 4 Angry Men just kind of caught in the middle of it all. I'm still just trying to see if anything for JDG. Can they find a way into the circle?
The circle is probably the furthest thing from his mind. No. He is just going to camp Luke 12 here. That is all this is. He wants this point so desperately and just has to hope that somehow, some way, Genji doesn't get anything else, but he's out in the open, and he's done. Luke 12 has him out.
It finishes how it started, with Team Liquid getting the last stab onto JDG, who falters into 17th place. 4 Angry Men also going to go down into that 23rd positioning. So, now then, eyes back up. It's going to see how much more can we get. Jinji holding on to that 6th place position is going to be a little fine, but Sharper with just 2 players up, how many more points can they find?
You would think not many. They're in a very awkward spot where they're very spread out on the coast, but who knows, with the new circle settings, anything is possible. Park Pro going to get tagged up by Kiss. Kiss using the edge of this US to take a peek at what's going on with Geek in front of him. Yeah, a bunch of shots ring out in his direction. Is VC going for a lift over there? Yeah, the circle's garbage. I mean, it is straight garbage.
It's still 50% water over here. Jinji going to be in the center of it. Geek is going to make the wrap down on top of Myth, and Myth is in some trouble. VC needs some more, but this is all low side of the hill, so nobody actually inside the circle can get involved.
Oh, Geek probably comfortable now into that grand finals. Just looking to try to barricade Myth, do a little bit of damage to our top team from the group stage. See if they can finish them off cleanly. Grenade gets up there, does some damage. The follow-up from Sungjong, he's going to be peppered, but he is going to find the mark.
These kills buying so much breathing room, and that is going to be EK continuing to climb, now jumping over 17 in their positioning. Car's going to be rained down in front of him. Gam just having to make a send into the circle. It's going to be right next to the BRDM that Navi's been trying to use for some form of safety. They're pretty close to the center of the circle, but it's going to be a tree, and that's about all she got. Tanvu's got some solutions for the problem in front of him, though.
Nice shot there. Doing some geometry, and he's got a Mark 14 to boot. This is looking like a nice moment for Tanvu. He's going to get that BRDM for his team, too. This looks like another Gam. Hold the center of the circle despite all the odds and come through with some big points, some maybe even a win this time.
I want to point out that we also do have Lou that's out swimming in the water right now. Well, R8 are trying really hard to kill him. So if you see any sweatiness happening from Twisted Minds, it's just Lou swimming, an example right next to Falcons.
Bro's like, I gotta get the laps in, you know? We gotta get that exercise in.
He's got control over 50% of this circle swimming right now.
He's like, I just got here. I gotta practice my swimming. You know, it's really important for the later stages of this as Geek going to be slamming into the edge of the circle. They're going to have enough of a ridge here that they cut themselves off from Gam's sight line. Right now, Vicious and 17, though, are going to have some angles into this, so they're going to have to just get down on the ground and hunker.
We're in a hippie game right now as everybody's up just tree hugging, trying to find some form of safety. VC, no angles of approach over there. Simon's going to get instantly dropped, but where else are you going to go? Maybe try to go a little bit further south, but that's just going to be even closer to Geek. Maybe make the commitment in. Big Nade rolls right in, but Vicious is going to get eliminated. Nade's not going to get anything else. So 17 coming alive over into the west is, no, Earth has abandoned his name and he's decided he's going to go in the water, but 17's going to get coastline control. That could be a problem for him.
This is basically putting it out of reach for Sharper, though, because Genji found one of those points. Soul actually popped up and over and took one of the VC players out, stole one of the kills from Geek. So it just becomes more and more difficult for Sharper.
Sharper doesn't need a lot. They just need to survive, and it feels like it's going to be so hard at this point. They do have Thunders still alive, just kind of hunkered down right next to the rocks, so he's just playing the math and hoping that it favors him. Problem is the math also favors 17, who's right on top of all of this. You can see they do have one of the Sharper players on the other side of all.
Look at Earth. He's literally in the Earth.
That's what I was saying. He jumped out. He was swimming a second ago.
Man, he's living up to his name, dude. Yeah, no, I know. I mean, Thunders is in, but with 17 17 getting so close. This should be the end for Sharper. I mean, they need 4 more points just to tie into Shadow Esports, and then they're going to need 5 to supplant to get past them, and I don't know if that's possible.
If we get a duel of the mermaids between Earth and Lou, have them fight it out at the end for everything. Gen G just still finding the circle, feeling the luckiest squad on the face of the earth right now as R8 has to push pretty close to the Falcons. Falcons have just kind of abandoned position that they were playing for a second ago. 17 though, this is big. They're right on top of Thunders, but being held out by Geeke. So Thunder's just trying to play survival for as long as he can, but he's going to have some very noisy neighbors.
That would be a nice way to at least go out for R8 with a bang, get a win. Maybe see if you can take Falcons down here. Teddy trying to figure out exactly where the Falcons players are so he can use that frag effectively.
Thunder's just double shielded.
Thunder's putting himself in the Thunderdome, but it's about to be not so great. You know, Geeke trying to keep 17 pinned on the other side of that thing. Teddy does find kickstart, and you can see in the middle of the outside of the next circle is Gam.
I mean, if Geeke moves or falls, then suddenly Thunder's position is terrible because 17's up on top of that rock and we'll just look right down on top of him.
He's dead.
So Earth's going to go back into swimming, see if he can use the distraction that Geeke is providing to maybe survive just a wee bit longer. I mean, Geeke is doing a good job on, I guess, distracting enough for Thunders for the time being. Gen G hasn't pulled their trigger in forever, and Gam's got the other side of Geeke, so I don't even know if you're Geeke. There's nowhere to go. You're going to get picked apart one of these ways.
You need to find a timing here as Earth, but I don't think there's just anything he can really do from down there. I don't think he's getting up. I think he's just going to have to swim. Thunder is in trouble. The grenades taking out the shielding. He gets one, but Xiaowu is going to immediately dispatch him.
No, don't swim to the water. Don't give away Earth's positioning. He's still on a stealth mission. Other side of it, it is going to be Salute finally finding their triggers again. They get the knock onto 17 Gaming. Geeke, again, still just in so much trouble. Gams managed to build themselves a fortress with the BRDM, and they still have to move forward just a bit more to get in the circle, but R8 still roaming down to the south.
Ooh, okay. At least able to find another knock. I didn't think Sungjang was maybe going to be able to find too much more there. Park Pro's Dunzo. Sungjang just going to go down to the blue. Geeke are A-OK to get into that grand finals, as we can see.
Well, we've been looking at everything. We do have Myth, of course, cemented into first place position, but R8 actually moving up into 22nd. So a bit of climb. No, Earth, you've been spotted.
Oh, no.
This could be the end.
Fishing with dynamite.
52 points. Does the redneck fishing get him? No, he's just got to keep
survive.
Go.
Survive.
Use Gen G as cover.
Yeah. Use the team that's ahead of you in the standings. It'll work surely. How does he find a cove?
He's got himself a little cubby to hide in.
No.
17, how bad do you want to ruin his day? Actually, I don't know. I think it's a big name here. Could be something.
I mean, Wenbo is going to go try to fish this out. Earth should hear this. He's got an AK. That's a decent gun, but no, he doesn't want to fight. He doesn't want to stick around.
I mean, he can just keep going aquatic. A couple of shots. The water is going to eat enough, but okay, how well are you going to cook this? Nade looks like it's on trajectory. Oh, doesn't get a lot more, but gonna jump out, still be safe.
Molly's mark in the water.
I'm Molly proof. Run away. Continue to get to safety. As it is.
Earth is the last airbender here. He's using water, fire, everything.
Salute's just watching like, what is happening to the north? He keeps shooting at 17 players, and he's like, what are they shooting at? It's not me.
I don't know what's going on. I'm just chilling.
Oh no, D has spotted him, and Earth's dreams are crushed.
That's it for Sharper. They will not find themselves into that grand finals, and we have it all established. We know where the cutoff will be, and it will be Shadow Esports. Well, let's have some fun with this one. Tanvu with that Mark 14. I want to see him sing with this.
Gen G's got a great position. Can they take the last game on top of surviving and getting into that qualification? Salute's gone down one side. 17 making the push in. Gam's got control of land on one side. But while we have lost one mermaid, we still have another. Twisted Minds. Lou is still alive. Other side of this, R8 also on this little bit of a climb of their own. They've still got a lot of players up in control of the south.
Gen G losing players here and there, so that might have afforded Lou the opportunity to make landfall and try to find a way up here. Not exactly sure if he's going to have a spot. Yeah, he definitely does have some room in this circle to find a way up for sure. Teddy doing some nice shooting there. Tanvu goes for the spin, but will be sent out most likely. Looks like there's enough of a edge there. It's unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable. He has a P90. There was a crate out in the water that he went and got.
Just PUBG things sometimes. I love it. All right, Gam, 17 up to the north, and it is R8 now that's getting the focus of everybody. Tian is going to get the knock on a Hong F. So 17's going to leapfrog up. Tian's going to go and try to get the res on a Winbow, and now Lou is looming on the rocks below it all. I don't even know if it does. He have? Yeah, he has a path up from there. I think it's a little bit more to his right, or east, however you say.
Do you think he uses Fruit of the Loom underwear?
Oh. See, I was going to go with he's opting for, I guess, more of a pacifist fight in lieu.
Oh,
of shooting.
that's good too. That one's good. I like that. I like that one. Yours is a little less crude than mine.
I'm just having flashbacks. So, what was it, Evermore over here in these rocks? I think
yeah.
Years upon years ago.
Years ago. Yeah, that is old PUBG. Love it. I love it. Well, I think this should be R8's game. I think. But
how much
hard
can
to
they
say.
Get? I mean, yeah, they're not going to qualify.
No,
it,
I don't think that's possible.
That's a big come up at the end.
4, 5. That'd be 48. Plus, they can get another 6 points. Well,
maybe if they kill.
You know
everybody,
what? Actually, wait a minute.
I'm trying to do the math on this 5, and then we got another 9.
They can get 6 more points, if I'm not mistaken. I think they could do this. But they have to get all the kills.
They have to get all of the kills.
I think there's like, they can't pass Gen G, but they can pass. They can maybe pass Shadow. No, wait, no. No, they can't. They can't. No.
Trying to do the
it's not possible. Not possible. Not possible. I just did it. I hate doing caster math. I absolutely hate it. It's the worst thing in this job, trying to figure stuff out on the fly. It's not possible. I'm like 90% sure. Because I think the most they can get is 11 more points. And
yeah, I'm trying to remember where the cut lines were. So
it's
yeah,
55, so they can't. They're 1 point short. Sad. I thought you had me hoping for a moment. I'm like,
oh, that flush that happened a second ago.
Yeah.
Whenever they got the knock and it was stolen away. Oh, man. All right, well, that being said, R8 trying to wipe everybody is also going to be pretty hard given the fact that Gam and 17 are closer to each other than anybody else. And I feel like Lou may die to the blue. So while all the caster math could be a thing, the factors are really the teams are too close to each other for R8 to get much. Well, okay, they at least managed to get 1 out of that, as Gam is going to get eliminated, but 17 is going to find the other side of it, pick up one of their own. 17 having a massive game, all considered 8 kills right now and still fighting their way forward, as it is going to be them over into the northwest. Down in the southeast, it's going to be R8 and good old Lou living the, I guess, the beach life.
Wenbo's trying to see where exactly Lou is, and then he's going to reposition up to the high ground. He takes a little bit of damage from the blue to do so, and he can't really sit there too much longer. This has to be kind of clean. It can be kind of tricky to get up those rocks sometimes.
And this is so great for Lou. You know, he's kind of jet lagged, having just arrived. He doesn't have to pull his trigger too much. He just gets to kind of watch what's going to be going on. 17, if they play along the rocks, going to have their own problems. Ooh, blue zone going to take down Wenbo, and he's going to go ahead and get flushed by gravity. Uh-oh, Tian, he's spotted.
Not like this.
Don't peek up there, Lou.
No, don't do it.
I mean, there's so many players in front of you. You got to go for it. MT wanted to go for Lou, but he's just trying to hold his breath down there. And can he out-survive anybody else? R8 wants him.
Yeah, let's see if they can find another kill. Lou does make landfall. Goodbye, Tian. Now all eyes will be down there. Lou's got 1. Oh, he's finished off.
There you go. Last game is going to be a moral victory for our boys in R8. Climbing the leaderboard right when they needed to at the end. But, I mean, it comes down to that cut line. We now have our top 16.
Well, that was a crazy circle to end on. I mean, just so many teams having to make really calculated gambles. You know, you're trying to wait each other out. You're trying to wait who's going to be that last team to go for that emergency pickup. And believe it or not, Gen G is. And they somehow, some way, were forced to go to the coast, which normally you would think, well, that's not great. You're probably done from there. But the circle said no.
And Sharper.
I know.
They wanted it so bad. R8 on a climb of their own. A lot of these squads that were just trying to get to the top 16 fight so hard. And now they have their dreams dashed as this is our squad. Bottom of the leaderboard and 4 angry men. I'll say unexpected.
Yeah, I mean, with what 4AM has kind of been able to accomplish so far this year, I thought they were a good shout to at least get into the grand finals. Definitely disappointing for them once again that they just can't kind of come to some of these international events and live up to expectations, live up to the hype. Yeah, just a nice moment there, at least for R8. Getting the win, still something to be proud of.
A little bit of sadness for JD Gaming because they were trying there at the end, but it was just everybody and everything uniting against him. And I will say this, for anybody that plays in PUBG, if you're like, oh, well, people were bullying this and they were fighting this and it's so unfair, every single player in a battle royale will tell you, if I didn't get the points by the last 2 games, it's my fault I didn't qualify. I should have got them early.
Yep. No. Every player will tell you that there were points they left on the table in other games that they should have had, and that's why they weren't able to get it done, because they weren't in a position in that last game to just kind of freely play. They might have to press for some points to try to do things they normally wouldn't do, whereas they didn't capitalize on opportunities in previous matches.
If you keep yourself in an exploitable position, sooner or later somebody's going to exploit is what it comes down to. And unfortunately, it was just for JD Gaming. They just bounced too many times into Team Liquid. But I do love Team Liquid, who sometimes we have called out for being a bit too passive, trying to take more control over their own destiny.
Yeah, no. I like the way Liquid played the end of this day. You know, once they had that finish on Miramar where they were pretty much secured, that's when they got active on the map. That's when they started picking on teams. And frankly, the fact that they kind of started to focus on JDG there actually made things really uncomfortable for JDG and put them into some bad decisions that they had to make that they normally probably wouldn't have to.
Watching our mermaids in action now, relaxing. I mean, arms back, trying to kick back and relax, breathe a little bit more is, I mean, yeah, that game was super stressful for the mermaids, right? Well, I mean, at least it was for Earth.
Kind of much more for Earth. I think Lou was vibing. I think Lou's like, sweet, I got a P90, that's cool. Like,
I mean, okay, what's better, Lou P90 swimming or kickstart BRDM from all the way around Ferry Pier?
Yeah, I like both. It's hard to pick.
Different vibes at different times.
That's right.
It's we're commenting about the livelihood of the last game, while you can see the sadness in the eyes of those that just a little bit too late.
Just so close. I mean, now you're going to look at this and you were 3 points away from Shadow at the end of this as R8. Like, again, they're going to be kicking themselves. They're points they should have had in previous games. Yep. I think back to that last Tego where they maybe could have got a few more points, you know, if they were able to take a better fight against VC or Falcons or something like that, where it could have been a very different story.
And it was so hard. I mean, whenever you have squads that are just monuments to destruction right now in Myth and T1, running amok on lobbies, Na'Vi finding successes all over the place, Twisted playing with their coach and having a phenomenal day one. So many points that were just denied by these guys, having a massive climb. Double the points of the squads just trying to qualify.
Yep. No, I mean, it's insane, the top of this lobby. You know, big time shout out to Falcons, who played really, really well. 17, who had a glow up day today to give themselves a really nice shout into that grand finals. GAM as well, just kind of keeping on. Not the most explosive performance from them, but still very steady stuff, and they're able to make some tough situations work, to have some really cool highlight moments. Clory's had a cool one with the Panzer earlier today.
Okay, well, we have seen the sadness in the eyes of the squads, but now it is time to throw it to Myth and Barney as they're going to crush their keys and their dreams.
Oh, words couldn't be truer. Crushing keys, crushing dreams. But first, I'll have a quick conversation here with Myth. Congratulations for such a dominant group stage. I just want to quickly ask you guys, how do you feel about the team's performance, about your individual performances as well? Was it all good, or were there things to still work on ahead of tomorrow?
ก็ขอแสดงความยินดีด้วยครับสำหรับผลงานในวันนี้นะฮะอยากถามว่าตอนนี้เนี่ยรู้สึกยังไงกันบ้างครับผลงานตอนนี้แล้วก็เพอร์ฟอร์แมนซ์ตอนนี้ฮะรู้สึกว่ามันดีแล้วหรือว่ามีอะไรต้องปรับปรุงเพิ่มไหมครับ
ก็คิดว่ามันดีแล้วครับผมแต่ว่ามันยังดีได้อีกครับ
Yeah, I think it's good but not good enough. There's still something that has to be working on.
Okay, well, fingers crossed you'll be able to fix it ahead of tomorrow. Now, tomorrow the stakes do get higher. Everything resets as well. So how are you guys going to stay focused and stay composed going into the grand finals, especially if there are things to work on?
ก็เมื่อสักครู่บอกใช่ไหมฮะว่ามีบางอย่างที่ยังต้องแบบว่าไปจัดการหรือว่าไปนั่งศึกษากันใหม่นะฮะอยากถามว่าพรุ่งนี้เนี่ยทุกอย่างมันจะรีเซ็ตแล้วเราจะทำยังไงกันบ้างฮะกับพรุ่งนี้รู้สึกว่ามันกดดันบ้างไหมหรือว่ารู้สึกกันยังไงครับ
ก็ยังคงต้องทำให้ดีเหมือนเดิมครับกดดันก็อาจจะเพิ่มขึ้นมานิดนึงครับผม
Yeah, of course there's gonna be a little bit of pressure like coming up to them, but we have to keep moving on, like giving everything we got as usual.
I mean, it feels like quite a somber, quite a relaxed atmosphere right now. However, now is the time to celebrate, okay? Because you've placed the top spot in the group stage, so follow me, gentlemen. This is time for the fun bit. Come on over here, come on over.
And I want you to climb up here. Mind your feet, no tripping. Let's get up here. Welcome to the Crusher. Step on up. Okay. So you're going to crush some hopes, crush some dreams, and crush 8 keys of the eliminated teams from the group stage. And so first and foremost, can I get you please to press that button?
รบกวนกดปุ่มด้วยครับ
Okay. Now, Jacob, I would like you to gently pull on this and say goodbye to the keys. Is there anything you would like to say to the eliminated teams?
ก่อนอื่นนะฮะก่อนที่เราจะส่งเดอะคีย์ของทุกทีมลงไปนะครับผมมีอะไรอยากจะฝากถึงทีมที่ตกรอบบ้างครับ
ไม่เป็นไรครับผมรายการหน้ายังมีนะครับผมเป็นกำลังใจให้ครับ
GG nice try hope to see you guys in the next tournament
Okay, GG, nice try. Jacob, it's time to pull on that lever. 3, 2, 1, go for it. Woo! And that right there crushed 8 keys out of the tournament, and now just 16 remain in the competition. Oh my goodness, what a 3 days it has been, but we've got the grand final starting tomorrow. So for now, we're going to head back over to the analysts to carry on.
Aha, okay, all right, well, as Barney says, 16 teams only remain here. Kind of crazy to think that overall China's only able to send 1 team into that grand final, but of course at the very top, Myth as well as T1 looking spectacular. But in front of me, I have 2 very familiar faces that I'm going to be talking to about everything that's going to be going on in that grand final. To my left-hand side, Shrimzy from Falcons. To my right-hand side, Battlegrouns from Twisted Minds, the club champions and the PUBG Battlegrounds EWC champions. Gentlemen, going into this grand final, of course, last year we had it extremely close. It was down to the wire, the very last game. Twisted Minds was able to take it. I'm going to start with Shrimzy first. How do you think Twisted Minds here in 2026 is going to fare in the grand final?
I mean, they better put their coach back in because they had no points today, so it's not looking good for Lou. You know, maybe put the tab back in, put him on an EMT, and they'll be good to go.
Battlegrouns, the same question. How do you think Falcons may do in this grand final?
Well, they're from the weakest region ever, from Americas in the PUBG history, and also the weakest team in TPP, only playing LAN tournaments because of GPD. But I wish them luck still.
That was unexpected. Okay. Well, that is definitely one way to start things off. Overall, though, you guys were fighting in this last game as well. Any kind of final thoughts on that last game?
It's all slop. Everything's slop. You know, we're just trying to get points out here. We're down bad.
Battlegrouns, I guess same question. Example was around for a while. Lou was doing some good swimming. Are we going to see more of that in the final?
Well, I mean, it's the only good thing he did today. So maybe we should consider like option to get back to the top. Yeah, maybe he was right, just a little bit. Yeah, but it's still fine. Yeah, not the best day from us, but like we are in the finals, and that's the most important thing.
What do you think the chances are for a back-to-back Twisted Minds EWC victory here?
Yeah, it would make sense. We are a pretty good team.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. So final question here for you, Shrimzy, before we kind of move on as well. Obviously, Falcons, there's a lot riding on you guys. You are obviously the defending club champions and how all that goes. Do you think that there's going to be a significant number of points here? Obviously, you've got Gustav now in. We've had him, you know, throughout the PGSs and stuff like that. Is this the roster to be able to take you to #1?
Of course, it's EWC, and we always show up in these events, the big events, except for PGC sometimes. But yeah, we're feeling good. I think we made a little bit of a statement today, you know. We were on the edge a little bit, and we got good points, and we're here to win, so we're going to do that.
There you go. All right, well, thank you very much, gentlemen. Hey, shake hands. May the best man win in the final, of course. These two teams, alongside 14 others, will be going head-to-head in that grand finals. It is going to be a banger here across the next 3 days. We're going to send it back over to the studio to get everything under wraps here for the finals of the group stage.
Let the smack talking begin, because that's exactly what I wanted to hear out of these players. We're done. with the group stages. We know which teams are going to be moving forward, and I can't wait to see what those finals are going to be like.
You know, we don't always get smack talk. James Kalaris was shocked that Shrimsy went so hard on him, but he's right. I mean, it seemed like Lou spent the whole night flying and the whole day swimming, and then the rest just running, because he didn't really have that big of an impact. But it doesn't matter. It's Twisted Minds, and you know what? The good news is the scores reset tomorrow, and that means everyone has to do it again from the jump.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Batulins. I think, you know, Twisted Minds is just a pretty good team at this point now. I think they're just human now. I don't think they're that great.
just give them extra time.
And you
I'm still going back to what you guys told me. Slow starters, so that's what I'm going to go with. If not, I mean, we heard him say that it could, maybe their coach could be put in.
Listen, I'm willing to do some more roasting, okay?
Go for it.
4 a.m. I think they got 4 points today. It's in the moniker of the name. Listen, China came here with 5 teams, okay? Only one of them made it to the grand finals, and that's going to be 17. So, China, where are you at?
Yeah, well, I mean, on their way to the airport, I guess is the answer.
I guess so.
I will say, I do want to give props to a team that really impressed me here on the back end, and that was R8. This is a team that had 10 points coming in today, and they busted their backsides, man. They came out 42 on the day. For a couple of players that a lot of people don't really know that well outside of maybe Teddy, they were fighting tooth and nail right up to the last moment, and you saw them gutted because they were only 4 points from passing Shadow and getting that qualification spot.
And talking about Shadow, baby. Shadow Esports, I get a chance. I was the only, well, actually, to be fair, you know what, Toffees, you got me on that hype train. You were like, Shadows? I think they might end up surprising us. Boy, did they end up surprising us as they were able to qualify with those 55 points.
You know, I said if they had a good first day,